Communication is the most important part about Counter-Strike, and I guarantee you actually don't know how to communicate. So I'm going to go over just a couple basic tips on how you should and shouldn't communicate, and when you should and shouldn't as well. And these are some tips that a lot of people don't talk about, so make sure you guys watch through all the way. But before I tell you guys those tips, if you want any cool skins in my inventory like I have here, make sure you check out the sponsor of this video, Skins Monkey.
Skins Monkey is a CS2 skins trading site and marketplace that provides an instant way to get new skins. My favorite thing about Skins Monkey is that I can trade skins that I no longer want and trade it for a skin that is equal value. If you use code LouisCS2, you get a $5 bonus on your first trade. If you want to buy skins, you can get a 30% deposit bonus plus an extra 5% using my code. The link is down in the description.
So once you guys upgraded your inventory from Skins Monkey, let's talk about the first subject of this video. Now, the first subject is useless communication. There's so many times in teams where these players over communicate thinking they're giving this good information when in reality, they're not. So let's say for an example, so you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm a window player. Let's say I get smoked off window. I'm going to come to my team. I'm smoked off window. I'm going to rotate to A. And this is where the useless comms come in. They're going to say, oh, they can be out mid. Is my palace open? Can they, run up con? Like all these questions, which you can actually just fill by looking at the mini map, and there's no comms actually needed. Like for example, when I played with Nifty back in our team called Formula, I was the A anchor. When Nifty got smoked off window, he actually never communicated that he was rotating. So if I was jump spotting ticket, he knew that I was jump spotting ticket, by the way, by just looking at the mini map or what I called at the start of the round. So when I'm sitting here jump spotting, he will just say I'm smoked off window. All I had to do was look at the mini map, even though you guys can't see it on your screen because I'm on top of it. Just imagine that Nifty is now rotating. I would see on the mini map that he's obviously rotating to A, and I would start to move into sight without any communication. So my con and cat players could actually just focus on either fighting mid or blocking mid, so they can't scale down and take any space, because that's the most important part of the map if we were trying to play for mid and the T's are taking it. So it's very important that you let your key players really communicate. Like Nifty knew exactly that he didn't have to communicate the rotate because I could just look at the mini map and then I could just rotate in. And it goes for the same on anywhere else. Like let's say I want to do this ramp setup where we want to walk into ramp and really, try to flank T spawn. My mid players aren't coming so much. Maybe they'll flash over and just block connector. They'll say, okay, they're out mid, can run up cat, and then that's it. There's no trying to develop a round because we're trying to work in ramp, and they know where the comms should actually be coming from. And then once we have all of ramp and completed our plan, that's when the next communication comes in. You're not going to hear the B players saying, oh, one upper B, now he's throwing a nade set, could be more, they could be rushing. It's none of that. All my B player would simply say is like one pressuring B, and then that's it. You just have to relay the information as quick as possible and shorten it as much as you can. The important parts of the map can also communicate to the other people on the team. So now moving into the next subject. Now this subject will help you guys have less useless comms in your games, and that is terms. You guys need to create terms for a lot of different things. For example, my team, when this was meta, when you would smoke the arches on B, we call these McDonald's smokes. We wouldn't, our B player wouldn't be sitting here saying, oh, they smoked get right and get left, they're coming out B. We would just say McDonald's smokes, right? And then for A site, we also had a term for the right side smokes. We called this popcorn. Me as the A player, if I saw the right side smokes come in, I would say popcorn. And these terms help your team understand what's going on, and it doesn't fill the voice chat. Because if I was simply saying, like, let's say I'm under Balk and the popcorn smokes come in, if I'm saying they smoked stairs, they smoked jungle, they could be coming out ramp, it fills the comms and no one can actually help me. So if I'm under Balk and those smokes come in, I would say popcorn, and then my jungle or window player would obviously know what I'm talking about, and they could just be like, I have flash ready. It's just like that. We shorten the terms of what is actually happening in the round, and it will help you guys even on your T side, vice versa, where my IGL can say, hey guys, let's throw popcorn smokes, or maybe you guys call them, phase smokes, or just simply right side smokes, for example, right? There's a lot of different terms where, let's say, they're smoking in con, they're smoking in window. Like this mid take could be like phase. So my con player could say, hey guys, they're doing phase in mid instead of, oh, they smoked me off window, oh, they smoked me off connector. They could be in mid. No, you guys have a term for it on T side and CT, so you can easily identify what's happening in the round and shorten those comms so you guys can build up the round a lot better with your communication. And then everyone else has a good understanding of what is actually happening. So if you guys are on a team, I really recommend just going in and giving some terms to just some simple plays. Like for example, we had a fast con play where we would smoke smoke window, smoke off cat, and just flash con. We would call this cloud 9. So if my con player said they're doing cloud 9, I obviously knew what they were doing and how the round was set up. Probably some players towards A, ramp, and palace instead of just one lurk because they're trying to take con fast. These terms just help you guys develop the round a lot easier and also make you understand what is going on for all your other teams, like I said earlier. So I really encourage that you guys go in with your team, go in with your duo, and just identify some of these terms, and I guarantee it'll help your guys' team a lot. Now, for the last subject, this is very important, and a lot of newer players, or even you've been playing for a while but haven't played on a team, don't understand this a lot, and that is calling for gaps. Now, one way you can identify a gap is by simply looking at your mini-map if you're playing Premier or a Faceit Pug where people don't tend to communicate, and I'll explain to you what a gap is. So if my con player is, here blocking con, maybe he's smoking, and we know the T's are out mid, let's say my window player dies. Now, if my con player wants to go pick up window, he would say there's a gap in con. A gap tells me as a player that this is open and that any T can catch a crazy timing to simply just walk into con. So I have to be wary of this gap. Now, a lot of new players actually don't watch their mini map. You're a good player if you are, with a con player and you leave and you say gap in con, I'm going window. Like that's, awesome. But a lot of players don't know how to identify a gap because if you're in a Faceit Pug or Premier game, this guy's obviously just going to leave con and just call it a day and not say anything. Maybe he's thinking they're not going to go into con, whatever, but you absolutely have to communicate it. So if I'm an A player and I see this guy leave, I'm obviously going to say, hey, gap and connector. Because sometimes if you are in the heat of the moment, you can't actually call any gaps. Maybe it's just totally lost the track. But that's why your anchors especially need to be watching the minimap on how the CTs, aka your team, is moving. If I am the A player and I see my con player leave without saying anything, I'm gonna say, hey guys, gap in con, and then I can just keep jump spotting, saying nothing, let the mid guys talk. Maybe they want to develop a retake. Okay, hey guys, I have flashes now. Okay, I can flash in con, I'm here flashing con, easy. Let's clear that gap. Just simply watching your minimap is something that new players don't do, and I really recommend that you guys really emphasize to look at your minimap if you realize you're not really doing anything, and maybe you can find some information to tell your team. Now, there's not always going to be information, but it is good to just see that. So like, again, let's say for another example, if I'm jump spotting B, my window player dies and my teammates aren't moving or picking anything up and not saying anything, I would say, hey guys, gap in window, because they could obviously window boost. Now, gaps are usually a CT side call, but if you are on T side, you can also call a gap as well. If I'm walking up con and there's no one here and I'm, getting all the way into jungle, I would say, hey guys, I caught a gap in jungle. Now my teammate's gonna freeze, which is another term that, people use for when literally just stop what you're doing, get in a good spot. I could tell my team to freeze. Hey, I'm flanking B. Let's just go B. It's as simple as that. You can't say you have a gap on T side, so that is very important to know as well. And if you're high enough rank, your team will understand what you mean by that. But on CT, it's more self-explanatory just to say, hey guys, there's a gap on cat, gap in connector, gap in palace, something like that. And that just simply tells your teammates, guys, there's a timing that they could walk out. So if you are going in that area, just be very careful because there's probably someone in a park spot, which park is another term that people use where, if I lurk out palace, I can just park right here and just wait and listen. That's another term you guys can use as well. But if this video did help you guys, I would appreciate if you guys subscribe to the channel and comment down below if I missed anything. These are just some communication tips that I don't think a lot of people talk about. So I thought I would just kind of throw some together and explain it to you. I know it's a little bit unorganized. I'm working on making my content a little bit more organized since I am pushing out a lot more content every day with those daily uploads because, we are on the grind. But if you guys did enjoy the video, make sure you guys subscribe, like, and comment on it. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.